Let me get a little bit of sip of my water. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to just be doing a little bit of a makeup get ready with me, but I haven't really decided what look I'm going to go for yet, so we will just see where this goes. So first I'm going to start off with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand. So I'm going to be putting that on my under eyes and pretty much just the high points of my face. I feel like with the foundation that I use, it's easier for me to start off with a concealer than with the actual foundation itself. Under the eyes, the bridge of the nose, up on my forehead, and on my chin. I have two beauty blenders here. So I have this one, which is literally just flat, and I can't decide if I want to try this today because I've never tried it before, or if I want to just stick with my regular beauty blender. I think I might try this for foundation or more for powder. I haven't really decided yet. You know, we're gonna stick with this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend these out. I feel like this beauty sponge actually soaks up a lot of the product, so I find myself having to go back and either put more on or just really figure out a way to blend it out more. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on just because it did kind of lift it up and make it like disappear. Instead of using my beauty sponge again, since it did soak up most of my concealer, I'm actually going to go in with these brushes, and I love these brushes. They're like these flat, easier for you to blend things out. As you can see on camera, it's already brightening up my face more. Okay, so as you can see, it already brightened up my face a lot more than when I just used the regular beauty blender that I have. So now I'm going to go in with the Hourglass Vanish Foundation Stick in the shade Linen. I just did 3 lines down the side of my cheek and then one kind of below where I would put my contour, and then I'm just going to do one underneath my eye and then the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to do a couple on my chin, one down my nose, one up kind of from my nose, and then 2 just tiny little swipes on my forehead, and then just pressing it in a stamp like on my temples. We're going to use this big one. This is the biggest brush that they have, so I'm going to be using that to blend out my foundation. Okay, so now that we have all the foundation on our face, I'm going to take my powder, which is from Unique. It's the Behold Translucent Setting Powder. It's kind of come with that overlay. It's like a netting, and I've tried to cut it because I just want a loose setting powder that I can just press everything into, but it doesn't work. So I pat it onto one of my eyeshadow palettes to get a bunch of it out. That way, it's free. So I'm going to use the MAC beauty sponge that I have, and I'm only using this one because I feel like it is flatter, so it's going to be easier for me to get underneath my eyes and really bake. So I'm just going to leave that there, and then I'm just going to powder the rest of my face so it is matted and it is not a satin finish. I love my face to be matte and full coverage, so that is why I really like to powder my face down. I do have dry and oily skin, so I have combination skin. So certain points like my nose, the sides of my nose, down on my jawline, my cheekbones, those get oily faster than anything else. And then I noticed that above my eyebrows usually tend to get patchy, so those are drier areas of my skin. So I just like to make sure that my face is powdered while still being able to breathe. Okay. now that I've had my moment. I'm going to move on to the rest of my face. So I always like to start first with contour. So for contour, I use the Lorac Pro palette. I'm going to go in with the medium contour shade right here. And it also came with a contouring brush, but I lost that brush. So it looked very similar to this e.l.f. contouring brush right here. It's very flat, it has a nice edge to it. And I just get a little bit on my brush. And then I'm just going to carve out a line in my face, and then I'm just going to take a smaller brush and kind of blend that out so we don't have any harsh lines for contour. I'm just going to take my brush and, as I said, just blend it out, swiping back toward my ear and then also in circular motions, just to be sure that we're blending that out all the way. So now that we have our contour all blended out, I'm just going to take that same brush and just get a little tiny bit like on the edge of it. I'm not going all the way on it, though I am just going to swipe this down my nose. And then I'm just going to take an even smaller brush that I have and kind of push up and downwards, blending out that contoured line. I take a big, huge, like fluffy brush for my forehead when I do it and my jawline, only because I find it easier to blend it out that way. Plus, I don't really like to do contour on the forehead. It freaks me out. I'm just going to do it on my jawline, and I literally just put it on the edge of the brush, and then I just rub the edge of my brush onto my jaw because I don't want too much of a straight jawline. I just kind of want it to be separated from my neck in a way. And then I am going to do a little bit underneath my lip right here, just because I feel like it gives you more of that kind of puckered look, and I like that. So now that that is all done, I am going to be doing blush. I was so afraid of blush. I hated using blush because I always was afraid that I was going to look like a clown. I never knew how much was too much and how much to actually put on, and also what shade to use. I found this Tarte blush in an Ipsy bag. It's the shade Feisty. So I decided to try this out on my skin, and I kind of just did a swatch on my hand just to see what it would look like. And I actually really love this blush. So I'm really glad that I overcame my fear and loved blush more. So I'm just going to be using that today, and I'm just getting a little bit on my Morphe M530 brush, and then I'm just going to tap it off, and then we're just going to rub that on my cheekbones. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on my nose and on my chin, just, you know, to brighten up my face a little bit more and give me a little bit more color. Now I'm just going to take this kind of big fluffy brush and just kind of try and blend all of the colors together. So that we have the blush and the contour and everything on the face, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows off of camera, and then I will be right back with the eyeshadow. For brows, I just want to let you guys know what I did use. So I used the MAC eyebrow pencil in the shade Lingering. I like to go over it with an eyeshadow. So the eyeshadow that I use is in the Tarte, the Rainforest After Dark palette. So it's one of their older ones, but I feel like this shade right here, I don't know what it's called because I lost the thing, but it matches my actual eyebrows the most. I use the Benefit Ka-Brow kind of brush to just go over that with eyeshadow, just to kind of like set it and everything, and I really like the way that it makes it look. It makes it look a little bit more cut and crisp. So now that you guys are zoomed in and you're nice and close, we are going to be going in with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Okay, quick thing I just need to get out of the way with you guys. When I do eyeshadow, I don't use multiple brushes. I use like 3 at most. So I have a reasoning behind this, and everybody calls me crazy for it, and it will probably change, but I have one brush that I am in love with, and it is this one. It's a nice kind of thin but not too thin tapered brush, and I got it from Ulta, Don't even know what brand it is, so don't judge me because I'm going to be using the same brush the whole entire time. My theory to it is that it helps me blend more, because I mean, if you're obviously I brush it off to get darker shadows off when I'm transitioning to lighter shadows and things like that. I obviously brush it off. I believe that it helps the blending process. I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is Silk Creamed. I'm going to put that on the outer crease of my eye, and then I'm bringing that shade all the way into the inner corner, just doing windshield wiper motions. Oh, I also did prime my eyelids before this. I used the Lorac Pro Primer, eyelid primer before this, so you guys know. Now I'm going to be taking the shade Pukey. It is my favorite shade in the palette. I know it by name 100%. None of the other shades I know by name, but I know Pukey by name. As much as I did with the first shade on my brush and just place that on my eye. I'm going to go in with, so we'll go in with Roxanne. So let's try Roxanne out. And I'm just going to put this one strictly halfway up my crease and in my outer corner. So now I'm going to go in with the shade right next to Roxanne, which is Jax. And I'm strictly putting this on the outer corner. You don't want to go up into the crease. If you do, just go 1/4 of the way into your crease. So moving on, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is Queen. I'm just going to rub that on my finger, and then I'm just going to put that onto my lid. And then I'm going to take that same brush that I was using and kind of blend out that shimmer shade to where it blends with the other colors. And then go in with that red one more time and just go over anywhere that that shimmer could have possibly been transferred onto the red. I kind of went in and blended it a little bit more. So that's the eye look completed on one eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other eye, and I'll be right back. So I went to do the other eye off camera, and then I completely realized we forgot to do the lower lash line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So for the lower lash line, I'm grabbing a different brush, obviously, and I'm going to use my Naked Urban Decay Back to Basics brush, and I like this one because it's super thin and it's perfect for underneath your eye. I'm just going to go in with the Pukey shade, putting that right tight close to the lower lash line. We don't want to buff that shade out too much. We're going to go in with the Roxanne shade and just kind of put that right on that outer corner and coming in half of the crease, just like we did with the top. And we are bringing that shade down just a little bit more so that it gives it that dimension to the eye. And then we're going to go in with that Jax shade also, and we are going to keep that shade nice and close, just kind of blending that up into the upper lid. So I'm just going to take the shade Queen with my finger again, kind of put it right underneath that lower lash line so that it gives it just that little bit of dimension there too. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye off of camera, and then I will be right back to finish it off with lashes, highlight, and lipstick. I went ahead and did the other eye and also my lashes off camera just because I feel like with lashes I do need to be so super close. So for lashes I used the Ardell 105s. I did add in a little bit of a brown shade to my eyeshadow. So I went ahead and added Chip in there, which is the second to last shade on the second to last row of the palette. Now that our eyes are done, I am going to go in with some highlighter. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty highlighter in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. So you have the nice more neutrally shade right here just for a nicer highlight, and then you have the super shimmery shade right here. I like to go in with both of them. I do this one first and then I go in with the shimmery shade right after. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Morphe M500 brush, and then I'm dipping into the more natural shade first and then the shimmery shade after. And then we're just going to go ahead and go right in onto the cheekbone. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go right in with just the tip of the brush and just go straight down my nose just for a little bit of nose highlight, and then on my chin, my cupid's bow, and then right above my eyebrows. And then I do like to highlight my brow bone a little bit, so I'm going to use that Naked brush once again and just go ahead and go in really nicely and tightly with that just to get the upper brow bone highlighted just a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with some lipstick, and today for lipstick I think I'm going to go with the Toast and Butter shade from MAC. Okay, so that is it for lipstick. This does dry down matte, so it is a little bit tacky right now, but it will dry down a little bit matte, and I feel like this really complemented the eyeshadows that we used. So to set my face, I'm going to go ahead and use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I'm just going to spray that on my face. And that is it for this look today, guys. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any ideas of what other makeup looks to do or just videos to do in general, make sure to comment those down below. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to see more of the things that I post on this channel. I will be back soon.